A pleasant afternoon. Welcome to the official launch of the 6th Virtus Awards, organized by the Hotel Sales and Marketing Association. I'm Carmela Bocanegra, HSMA Board Director, and I will be your host for this afternoon's program. We are streaming via HSMA GPS TV on Facebook and on YouTube. This year's cycle of the Virtus Awards is significantly meaningful as we continue the tradition of recognizing excellence among sales and marketing professionals in the hotel and resort industry amidst the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. To kick off today's program, may I call on our President of HSMA, Ms. Christine Ibarreta, for her welcome remarks.
Regarding the Adrian Awards, the award giving body of hotels in the US. And so I went. Jennifer and I went at this posh hotel where Julia Roberts filmed Pretty Woman at Regent Beverly Wilshire 950, Wilshire Boulevard, Beverly Hills. I told her my dream of having an award giving body in the Philippines to honor and recognize deserving hoteliers in sales and marketing. Asked her advice on how to start this dream. She told me to start small, have a few categories of 4 to 5. We chatted the hour away. It was an inspiring meeting of two hoteliers separated by an ocean. I went back to the Philippines excited to share my experience. I immediately met with the board of HSMA. At first, there was hesitation and opposition, which is a sign of healthy and thinking organization. After several deliberations, my proposal was approved. The real work began. We planned and prepared for the Virtus Awards for almost a year. It was a tough time conceptualizing, soliciting sponsors, getting judges, reserving the venue, not mentioning the naysayers. We would never give up on our dream. Not even the lack of money would stop us. This is the photo taken at the first Virtus Awards in May 2015. The first panel of judges, October 16, 2015. And in November 2015, the first Virtus Awards was held at the New World, Manila. It was participated by over 300 hoteliers from all over the Philippines. It was a night of glitz and glamour. Can we show the photos, please? Our Virtus Awards night is always a night of honoring the men and women in sales and marketing of the hotel industry. As they say, the first will never be forgotten, and it is so. We always go back to the original and true purpose of this award, to honor the hard work and resilience of deserving sales and marketing individuals, the champions of the industry. This is a time for us to reflect on what really matters in our lives, a time to look back on our challenges and our achievements, but more importantly, it is a time to move forward. This is a milestone year for Virtus Awards, and we have added a category perfectly appropriate during these extraordinary times. We will not let this pandemic stop us in achieving our goals and purpose in this short life of ours. We will not stop honoring to whom honor is due. So here we are on our sixth Virtus Awards, never giving up on our dreams and aspirations, never giving up despite the the uncertainties we face, and I dare say Virtus Awards is here to stay. This telecast is brought to you by our official online travel buddy, HSMA's own GPS TV. Thank you to the Department of Tourism, the Tourism Promotions Board, and Atlantis for supporting the Virtus Awards this year. Thank you to all who have been part of the Virtus Awards for the past 5 years.
Thank you, Christine, for that very wonderful welcome message. When HSMA first conceived the Virtus Awards in 2015, both the Department of Tourism and its marketing arm, the Tourism Promotions Board, extended to us their unstinting support, making it possible for HSMA to mount this groundbreaking multi-category competition. Please welcome our Honorable Tourism Secretary,
Ms. Christine Ann Ibarreta, HSMA President, Ms. Rose Libonco, Virtus Awards Chair, Mr. Bill Luce, Chief Resilience Officer and Advisor of the Philippine Disaster and Resilience Foundation, Attorney Maria Antoinette Velasco Aliones, COO of the Tourism Promotions Board, HSMA Board and members, our private stakeholders partner, and friends from media. Good day. On behalf of the Philippine Department of Tourism, I wish to congratulate the Hotel Sales and Marketing Association as it launches the 6th Virtus Awards. Since 2015, HSMA has bestowed recognition on hotel sales and marketing professionals who have raised the level of hospitality excellence in the country. By honoring the men and women who have displayed remarkable competence, passion, and dedication in their fields, the Virtus Awards have no doubt inspired countless other practitioners and stakeholders in the hospitality industry to likewise strive to do their best. As the travel and tourism industry begins its gradual recovery after what has been an incredibly difficult year, it is perhaps apt that the 6th Virtus Awards is introducing two special categories that will honor the teams and people who have displayed extraordinary innovation and resilience in addressing challenges brought about by the pandemic. Our industry has undergone massive changes in recent months, along with having to comply with the new regulation and protocols to address public health and safety. Practitioners and stakeholders in the hospitality sector are having to deal with evolving customer preferences and needs. If there is one thing that remains constant, it should be one's dedication to excellence and innovation. In the tourism industry's recovery, I cannot stress enough the important role of sales and marketing. I hope everyone will continue to be inspired in finding new, exciting ways to encourage travelers to visit or creating new packages or promotions that are in tune with the times. Together, let us celebrate the unparalleled service hospitality excellence of the Filipino. Again, on behalf of the Philippine Department of Tourism, I would like to congratulate the Hotel Sales and Marketing Association on the 6th Virtus Awards. Together, we will recover as one. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay. Ms.
Thank you, Secretary Puyat, for that message. And yes, indeed, together we will recover this pandemic. To deliver TPB's message of support on behalf of its Chief Operating Officer, Attorney Maria Antoinette Velasco Aliones, please welcome Officer in Charge, Ms. Jocelyn.
Greetings to all participants of the 6th Virtus Awards. It is an honor to be part of this prestigious event and to share with you words of encouragement. But first, on behalf of our Chief Operating Officer, Attorney Maria Antoinette Velasco Aliones, I would like to congratulate each and every one of you for your hard work, commitment, and passion to serve the hospitality and tourism industry. Just recently, I had an interaction with one hotel manager in Cebu because we had to cancel a reservation due to the pandemic. My brother was supposed to come home from Canada and we were supposed to have that reunion, but then COVID-19 hit us. Nonetheless, that hotel manager immediately prompted his frontline or his front desk officer to immediately facilitate refund of our reservation. And they even promised discount should we pursue or continue that planned reunion once the borders open. And that to me is really great service. So similar to our frontliners, you too are unsung heroes. The lifeblood of the hospitality and tourism industry, for without you and your exemplary work, rooms and halls will remain empty. Perhaps your jobs are overlooked, being at the back end of the transactions. Parang kotse yan na maganda, no? Yung parang sports car. What catches other people's eye is actually the slick surface, pero hindi nakikita yung makina. But we all know that without the engine, that sports car will never fly the streets. So without a doubt, your contribution to the industry is noteworthy. There is more to your work than reaching a quota. It's not just about numbers, but it's also dealing with people and fostering relationships. It takes quite talent to build trust, and this doesn't come naturally to all of us. It's that genuine talent worthy of recognition and appreciation. Today, we are at a quandary because of this COVID-19. Talaga pong malaki ang epekto nito sa ating industriya. And not only the industry, but even our personal lives. And none of us are spared. Even the most powerful man in the West is now at its mercy. But despite this, we still manage. Viktor Frankl, one of the individuals who survived Auschwitz, wrote in his book, Man's Search for Meaning. Di po ba? And I quote, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms. To choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstance and to choose one's own way. So we may never know when this will all end, but we can always rise up and say to ourselves, we will survive this, we will make it, and one day we will again regain our victory. It is easier said than done, I know, but there is always hope. Then this is one thing we must never lose as we navigate through this challenging time. You all are important assets of our industry, never forget that. And you all have a purpose, and we must seek it and find the light. Congratulations to you all. Do know as well that the Tourism Promotions Board Philippines will always be here to support you. We will go through this together because we heal as one and recover as one. Maraming salamat po, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you, Ms. Deco. The Virtus Awards is designed to shift paradigms in hospitality excellence. In the 5 years since the Virtus Awards was first held in 2015, we have heard inspiring stories of creativity, innovative strategies, resilience, and excellence from hotel sales and marketing professionals and marketing and communication teams. We are delighted to have with us this afternoon some of the past winners from 2015 until last year. So from the first cycle, J.M. Intertas Jr. of Diamond Hotel and Shelo Reboredo of Okada, Manila. From the second year of Virtus, Mavi Crescio of the Bellevue, Manila. From the third cycle, J. Mart Lorenzo of Quest Plus Hotel and Conference Center Clark, Amy Villena of Bellevue Hotels and Resorts, and the Aqua Verde Beach Resort team of Tess Samaniego. From the fourth year of Virtus, the winners were Francis David of Hilton Manila and the Las Casas Filipinas de Acuzar team of Jane Andres, Angelique Sampayan, Queenie Domingo, and Brian Josinco. And from last year's winners, Ian Bencho David of Conrad, Manila, Rigil Kent Acapulco of Bellevue, Manila, Jel Villarin of the Bellevue Hotels and Resorts, Evangeline Imperial of Soler Resort and Casino, and definitely not last but not the least, the Crimson Hotel Philinvest City Manila's team of Kirk Anthony Llamas and Ronnie Reyes. May I ask all of you to please turn on your cameras and wave to be acknowledged. There, it's nice to see all of you join us this afternoon, our previous year's winners. Thank you, and we will see you. Stay with us until the end of the show because there might be some questions for you also. Welcome. Okay, may I request you again to turn off your cameras. Moving forward, here to walk us through the competition details is HSMA founding officer and past president, and now
hello, and our warmest welcome to our distinguished guests to the official launch of the 2020 Virtus Awards. Secretary of Tourism, Bernadette Romulo Puyat, the OIC of the Tourism Promotions Board Philippines, Ms. Jocelyn Patrice Deco, and our keynote speaker, Chief Resilience Officer, and the Philippine Director of the Disaster Resilience Foundation, Mr. Bill Luce, directors, officers, and members of the Hotel Sales and Marketing Association, to our dear partners and friends in the media who have been with us from the auspicious beginning of the Virtus Awards and every year thereafter up to the current pandemic-laden challenge. It has been close to 8 months since we started on this unknown and perilous journey that gripped the whole world and is forcing everyone to reassess the new order or disorder. Earlier in the year, when the mood was dark and foreboding, the Virtus Organizing Committee couldn't see our way to staging the 6th competition. Some properties closed down, others retrenched heavily. But many others persevered and sought the market that is available. Hotels and resorts evolved to be government and business allies in housing BPOs, medical and corporate frontliners, returning OFWs, seafarers, and returning overseas Filipinos. HSMA members did not give up, and thus it is with much pride and pleasure that I declare the 2020 Virtus Awards alive, well, and open. I am glad to introduce the video that encapsulates this year's awards that merge the traditional categories with the new citations reflective of the present realities. The Virtus Awards is relevant and important today because the HSMA has continued to be active and made itself of service to the customers and stakeholders. Anyone can imagine that it was easy to give in to despair and frustration when travel had stopped, governments mandated quarantines, and the standards of hygiene and customer were imposed. And on top of that, no cure was in sight. But thankfully, sales and marketing people are endowed with an indomitable spirit. When down and out, sales and marketing get up and roll in. When pushed against a wall, they break the wall. When down in the dumps, they dig for gold. Sales and marketing continue to be the lifeblood for the company, always working, thinking, creating, never giving up. Yesterday is past. Learn from it. Tomorrow is another day. Today is the present. Take that gift and build on it. Some of the initiatives taken by the HSMA include partnerships with Philippine Airlines to accommodate passengers needing housing on arrival in Manila or Cebu. Member properties sent their crew to the airports to ensure smooth check-ins to the chosen hotel, with staff staying until 3 or 5 a.m. when the arrivals come. Hotels provided food and drinks for the staff on duty and shared even with passengers. The HSMA GPS online TV magazine has just been launched. The last concluded September online sales generated around 15 million in sales, but more importantly, it has awakened the public that holidays and vacations are again within reach, and it is possible to go, sleep, dream, and wake up in their favorite destinations. These projects have compelled 36 more properties to join HSMA, thus bringing nationwide membership to an unprecedented 150 hotels and resorts. Not done, more HSMA ventures are in the pipeline, and cooperation and coordination with the Department of Tourism and the Tourism Promotions Board have never been closer, and we acknowledge as key to success. Inspired by these huge efforts of HSMA leaders and members, Virtus Awards must go on to recognize the excellence and initiatives that have been demonstrated in the face of extreme difficulties. The Virtus Awards will take place on December 7. Nominations are now open. We enjoin everyone to look long and hard to choose your entries and ensure that you do not overlook anyone, because at no other time in our history is it more fitting to single out outstanding performances and contributions than during these trying circumstances. HSMA has taken on one of the most proactive roles in the Philippines in keeping travel and tourism vital in economic recovery. HSMA will indeed rise and lift the industry, and the Virtus Awards will ensure that the spotlight will be on the most deserving. Mabuhay ang turismo Pilipino.
Thank you, Ms. Rose, for that very heartwarming message. Our keynote speaker is a leader who tirelessly champions inclusive economic growth and the importance of collaboration among different stakeholders. He served as a private sector co-chairman of the National Competitiveness Council, where he developed strategy for the long-term competitiveness of the Philippines. He is Chief Resilience Officer and Advisor of the Philippine Disaster Resilience Foundation, the country's major private sector coordinator for disaster risk reduction management, and was in charge of the establishment of its Emergency Operations Center. He is also chair of the Livable Cities Challenge, a private sector initiative to promote and enable better urban planning and implementation for competitive, sustainable, and resilient Philippine cities. He is also an honorary advisor of the Asian New Zealand Foundation, member of the advisory group, ASEAN Leaders Program of Common Purpose, and alternate member of the APEC Business Advisory Council. Let us give a warm welcome to Mr. Bill Luce.
Thank you, Carmela, for the kind introduction. Secretary Berna Romulo Puyat of the Department of Tourism, Ms. Margie Munsayak, Chairwoman of HSMA, Ms. Cristina Ibarreta, the President, Ms. Rose Libonco, Chairwoman of the Virtus Awards Committee, members of the media, past winners of the Virtus Awards, HSMA community, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me to speak before you at this media launch, and let me offer my congratulations to you all on the 6th Virtus Awards, recognizing the most innovative, creative, and effective marketing and sales campaigns in the hotel and hospitality industry. The travel and tourism industry plays an important role in the Philippines. It is a major contributor to the economy and to job creation. It accounts for 12.7% of GDP and 13.5% of workers in the country. The tourism industry accounted for 5.7 million workers in 2019. 1/3 of those, or 1.9 million, came from the accommodations and food and beverage segment. Given an average of 5 persons per household, your segment supports almost 10 million people. And the entire travel and tourism industry supports 28.5 million Filipinos, or a little over 1/4 of our entire population. This is why what you do to market your respective properties and the country as a destination is so important. If we roll back the clock 10 months to the beginning of the year, we looked at 2020 with so much promise and optimism. We had closed 2019 with a 5th consecutive year of tourism growth, with international visitors expanding from 5.36 million in 2015 to 8.26 million in 2019. Moreover, domestic tourists had reached more than 110 million by 2018 as travel became more affordable and destinations became accessible to more Filipinos. And then 2020 struck. We opened the year with the Taal volcano eruption, now such a distant memory. Taal volcano's eruption disrupted international air traffic coming into Manila and affected Region 4A. But unknown to us then, a virus causing pneumonia-like cases had emerged in Wuhan, China, late in 2019 and started to come into global attention by December 31st. Just 2 months later, the first cases emerged in the Philippines from inbound travelers. By March, a global pandemic had been declared, and the Philippines went into a lockdown in mid-March. Our world and our lives as we knew it came to a complete halt, and few industries have been hit as hard as the tourism and hospitality industry. Today, 7 months into a quarantine, whether ECQ, MECQ, GCQ, or MGCQ, we are still faced with the challenge of how to reopen the economy and our respective businesses. How do we hit the reset button for growth beyond COVID-19? I am no medical or public health expert, but I have been spending most of my time over the last few months working with a public-private sector task force focused on COVID response, known as T3, for test, trace, and treat. From my perspective, we will need to balance lives with livelihood. Focusing exclusively on health by locking down the economy will take its toll on human suffering in the form of loss of livelihoods, loss of incomes, rising hunger, and possibly additional non-COVID health risks. But focusing too much on opening up the economy can result in increased spread of COVID and the potential to overwhelm the public health system and more deaths. I believe we can find that balance if we combine some creativity and discipline in our approach to preventing the spread of COVID as we open up more businesses. A combination of personal practice of wearing masks, hand washing, and observing social distance is surprisingly effective, especially when everybody practices it. Studies have shown that this can reduce the chances of spread by well over 90%. On the institutional side of the hospitality industry, the practice of strict protocols and maintenance of so-called bubbles will help build up the confidence of travelers to eventually venture out and actually travel. While I believe the hospitality and travel industry will eventually open up, I don't think many businesses, including in other industries, will ever be quite the same as they were before. However, I believe that the strongly ingrained Filipino traits of care, hospitality, and service will lead to the revival of the hospitality industry in the Philippines. This will need to be combined with the concepts of bubbles and corridors to make travel both seamless and safe. There are signs that government policy is moving in the right direction. The Department of Tourism now allows staycations for Philippine residents and has begun opening up more destinations such as El Nido, Boracay, Baguio in the Ilocos region, Bohol, and other destinations around the country. More still needs to be done, such as working with local government units to allow more flights into their cities, building more testing centers in the provinces, because about 2/3 of the testing capacity is still in Metro Manila, and making sure that provincial hospitals are well equipped. The road forward would still be a difficult one to travel, but I am confident that it can be traversed. This is why I am so pleased that you have added 2 new special categories recognizing champions of resilience. It is both timely and inspiring. There are 3 ways of looking at resilience as a way of adapting to adversity. The first is to merely survive. The second is to bounce back to your original state. That is the traditional definition of resilience. And the third is to transform into something better than you were originally. I am confident that Filipino creativity and innovation will lead HSMA to uncover those who will transform this industry. So let me close by showing this video, which shows a public information campaign which launches this Saturday, October 10th, called Ingat Angat Tayong Lahat, on TV, radio, and social media. It's been put together with the business community by the ad agency TBWA over the last 3 months. It's all about bouncing back safely in a unified manner. In case any of your companies or HSMA itself is interested in joining this campaign, please feel free to shoot me an email and I'd be happy to introduce you to the group in charge. You'll be most welcome to join this campaign to open up the country safely. Good luck and thank you.
Aangat tayo muli. Ito ang paniniwalang ating panghahawakan. Sa ngayon, pangamba at pagdududa ang pumipigil sa ating ibalik ang dating buhay. Pero aangat tayo muli. Dahil may isang bagay na hindi kayang kunin ng COVID sa atin. Ito ang ating pagiging matibay at determinado. Tayo ang lahing hindi natitinag ng bagyo, lindol, baha, at pagsabog ng bulkan. Paulit-ulit bumabangon, ilang beses mang gulpihin ng sakuna. Kaya, aangat tayo muli. Kakayanin natin muli ito. Sa palaging pagsuot ng mask at face shield, paghugas ng kamay, at pagpapanatili ng distansya, hindi mo lang inaalagaan ang iyong sarili. Kung hindi, pati na rin ang mga nakapaligid sa'yo. Sundan natin ang mga ito at magkasamang salubungin ang sikat ng araw sa mga paborito nating lugar. walang kasiguraduhan ang mga darating na araw. Ang sigurado lang ay kapag isinapuso natin ang pag-iingat, aangat tayo muli. Ingat-angat tayong lahat.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Luz. So, ingat, angat, tayong lahat. I'm sure a lot of our members in HSMA would like to be part of this initiative, and we will get in touch with you. I'm sure HSMA will also be part of this ingat, angat, tayong lahat. And some excerpts from what you messaged today. So we need to survive, bounce back, and transform to something better. Very nicely said. Thank you again, Mr. Luz. We no doubt our attendees will leave this meeting with key takeaways on how we can reset the growth of our respective properties and hotels, organizations, associations beyond the coronavirus pandemic. Once again, our deepest appreciation. Now we go into the question and answer portion with the media. And Mr. Luz can stay with us if you still have time. I know you're a very busy guy.
No, I have time. I have time.
Okay, the media is with us. And if there are any questions to pose to Mr. Luz, and also to answer Virtus questions, I'd like to also welcome our chair, Margie Monsayak, of course, Ms. Rose Libonco, our Virtus chair, and President Christine Ibarreta to join us in this portion when the media will have some questions. The first question I have is for Mr. Luz.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the government's role in ensuring continuous resiliency?
Well, government has to play a very large role. Much of the public health system is in its hands. And so it's got to be able to orchestrate the whole test, trace, and treat, the whole prevention, the isolation portion of how to manage the pandemic. So I think a lot of the public health work has to be done with the government together with the private sector, because private hospitals have a large role to play here as well. But it's not just about the public health space, but the economy, because as I've said before, we've got to balance economic opening and public health. If we're too tight on the lockdowns, we run the risk of creating other problems. And we might see this erupt from a health problem into an economic and a social problem. But the reverse is also true. We can't focus solely on the economy and not worry about the public health system. So we've got to do both. And I think the government has to play a very large role there. Fortunately, many in the private sector have responded to the call and have volunteered to also help in the government. So a lot of this is being undertaken as a form of public-private partnership. So Ingat Angat is just one example of this, but there are many other examples within T3 where the private sector has helped in the COVID response and in opening up the economy.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Luz. I think in the hospitality industry, we are in the right direction of slowly opening our destinations, slowly but surely, with all these staycations. And eventually, if things go well, we are crossing our fingers for the good opening, and not much challenges for Boracay, Baguio, and El Nido, I understand. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for that reply, Mr. Luz. The next question is, what action or steps for resiliency would you further suggest to the hospitality industry?
Well, in the entire hospitality and in the travel industry, the whole challenge, I think, is how to make safe travel quite seamless. So apart from taking care of your respective properties, which I'm sure everybody's doing extremely well, it's how to get into those properties and how to get back home. So a lot of this has to do, I think, with say, testing. I think there has to be a system where you have partnerships where you can get people tested, not only your visitors, but your own workers itself. And you'll have to, fortunately, there are so many new testing technologies that things, I believe, costs will come down and access will be, will become easier. And so that's an important piece. I think some element of maybe contact tracing, especially if you are in the resorts, so that you can keep track not only of your own workers, but again, of your own visitors. So for their safety, for everybody's safety, you can trace movements. In case someone gets sick, it's easy to trace. And again, fortunately, technologies make that easier to get. So you can do everything from RFID sensors to phone apps to QR codes, and those, if they were scattered around your properties, can help you trace the movement of your own people and of your own visitors. So those are, I think, some of the things that you can do. And I'm fully confident that once people get used to the idea of traveling, taking the test, and then traveling to places, once they get to a destination, I have no doubts that they will completely enjoy their visit. I myself, I've been working from home for many months, and I travel a lot, on business and for holidays during the year, and sometimes combine it. But I am dying to get out there and travel.
Yes, definitely. You are welcome to any of our hotels, choose from our 150 member hotels in HSMA. And there's another follow-up question, Mr. Luz. Are there countries we can emulate in terms of successfully navigating COVID prevention and a resilient economy, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think there are a number, and we're always looking at these countries. How can we copy what they've done or adapt what they've done? I think New Zealand comes to mind as a country that's quite successfully managed COVID. Not only once, but they were able to bring sort of the numbers down, and then when they spiked up, they were able to react quickly and respond. So New Zealand's always been a good example. I think Taiwan has been another good example from the very beginning, back in January, by New Year's, because they have so many people traveling between China, Wuhan in particular, and Taiwan. They were able to start contact tracing all arrivals and tracking them down coming in from China starting January 1st. And so they were able to trace people and trace the positive cases, and able to manage the numbers down. I think Vietnam has had a remarkable practice as well, very aggressive in their testing and very aggressive in their contact tracing. So those are, I think, the kind of the practices that I think we should emulate. The Philippines is a big country, so it's a big problem. So testing, and we're directly involved in T3 in expanding testing. And you'll be surprised that as recently as April, the entire country could only test maybe 3,000 to 4,000, 4,500 people per day. It's quite incredibly small considering we have a population of 109 million. Today, we regularly test maybe around 35,000 people per day. And as we get more people tested, we actually have enough lab capacity around the country to test over 100,000 people per day. So we have the capacity to do it now. I think we need to improve in contact tracing. That's an area that we haven't performed well, and we should learn from the other countries, Taiwan again, Vietnam, as I mentioned, as examples of how to get this job done. If we take a look at we have more isolation facilities now. I think that's a good sign. Our hospitals at one time were overwhelmed, but now are running more smoothly. I think I think you have to see that our whole mortality rate at about it's under 2%, so it's running under the global average. I think this tells you how good medical care is in the Philippines, that for those who become critical, the death rate is only about 1.7%. In other parts of the world, it's about 2.5%, 3%. So the quality care we have, but we have to take care of our healthcare workers. I think that's important.
Thank you. Yes, a lot of information there, and I think we're going to the right direction moving forward. Before we let you go, Mr. Luz, let's talk about travel. Where is your favorite Philippine destination, and where will you travel to first once you are allowed to travel?
Oh, okay. Favorite.
Give me your top three destinations you want to visit first, once allowed.
That's a tough one. Really put me on the spot here. I like traveling, so I'm partial to the beach. So I would say probably my first destinations I'd want to go back to are a beach. I haven't been in a long time. So I like Bohol. I like Palawan, El Nido area, and I like Boracay. So it'll probably be a beach, I think, is where I'd like to go. Yeah.
Okay, so our members from Bohol, Palawan, and Boracay, wait for the reservation of Mr. Luz. Okay,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Thank you very much again. Now we move forward to some questions from the media regarding our Virtus Awards. This is from Karen O. Young of DZRH. What are the criteria for choosing the winners for this year's awards? Are there any special citations? She has 3 questions. Will the group endorse some best practices to your other members to help them in this time of pandemic? Ms. Rose, Ms. Margie, or Christine, any of you can answer that, or maybe one each, since there's 3 questions. What are the criteria for choosing?
Okay. For this 6 Virtus Award, actually we have the traditional Virtus category and our new champion of resilience category. Okay, under the traditional categories, we have 4 outstanding awards, which is the outstanding associate, outstanding managers, outstanding leader, as well as outstanding marketing campaign. However, at the start of around April of this year, Rose, Christine, and I were saying, do we push through with the 2020 Virtus Award? Who do we recognize and award? And so we kept on thinking, what if we recognize the performance of our sales and marketing during this pandemic? However, Bernie, our event organizer, said, but what about those that performed well from April of 2019 to March 20? And when the quarantine happened, it was March of 2020. So we said, okay, let us do this. We will recognize the 2019-2020 performance because they deserve that. The sales and marketing put so much hard work in 2019, making it the best year of the tourism industry. And we also thought of coming up of the champion of resilience. You know, it was very timely that Mr. Bilus mentioned about resilience. It's about surviving, bouncing back, and transitioning into something better. And this is the core of our Resilience Award. We are recognizing the determination, innovation, and commitment of our hotel sales and marketing people. And you know, it is about surviving. It is how we adjusted, how we were flexible, you know, adjusting to the new markets made available to us to fill up our rooms at the start of the pandemic. And while we were addressing and servicing this new market segment of BPOs, OFWs, we were also creating, planning, and developing our health sanitation protocols. And at the same time, we were also strategizing on how to address the new demands of the new normal. And this is where we have put together the categories of the champion of resilience, though we are breaking it down into an individual/team award and a marketing award. And we feel that, our sales and marketing people during this pandemic have been very dynamic, creative, and flexible, which is the heart of Virtus.
Yes, thank you, Miss March. I can truly relate to that. It's actually been a lot more work during this pandemic, considering all the things that we have done. Ms. Rose, what about the question on will the group endorse some best practices to your other members to help them during this time of pandemic? The same from Karen of DZRH.
Thank you, Karen. Just the fact that the nominees are announced, the work that they have done is also described, is already a good example for best behavior. And we do not force anyone, but there is also nothing to prevent them from picking up the best practices. That is free for everyone. And in fact, we encourage everyone to take a look. As far as how the choice is done, we have stringent performance measures that are outlined in the nomination forms. Mm-hmm. We ask everyone that when you nominate your people, please pay attention to the nomination forms, because that is what the judges read and see. Mm-hmm. So you have to put in as much information as you can in order to point out the outstanding contributions of your entries. And I dare say that being nominated alone, being singled out, actually the Virtus Award starts in every hotel and resort. Those who recognize excellence performance, those who motivate their people, and those who reward their people. Just being chosen and singled out is award in itself. And the fact that they endorse their staff to the Virtus Committee is recognition enough. But of course, winning the award nationwide is the ultimate goal. So we are quite thorough in the choices of the nominees and the winners. We vet the nominees, and certainly we have a roster of reputable judges who finally award the winners.
Thank you, Ms. Rose.
All these years, we have maintained the integrity and the credibility of the Virtus Awards.
Definitely. At this point, before we go ahead with some more questions from the media, I would like to, I understand Mr. Luz has a 3 p.m. commitment, and I'd like to thank you again. We'd like to thank you again, Mr. Luz, for gracing our launch this afternoon. I'm sure a lot of us, we are live on Facebook, and all our members and the hospitality industry is tuned in today. Once again, maraming salamat, Mr. Luz, and we hope to see you soon in all our hotels. 100 hotels.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, to continue the question and answer portion with the media, I have here Miss Christine for Miss Ibarreta from Carla Mortel of Business World. With the Virtus Awards going ahead this year, what message is HSMA sending out to the public?
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Carla, for that very tricky question. Virtus means excellence, and it is at this very time that HSMA members ended to the maximum level. It is during this time that the best of the best, in spite of this pandemic, we were able to to go on with the businesses in each hotel, and we were able to still come up with businesses coming in despite of what's happening. Ang ibig sabihin talagang magaling yung mga taga HSMA, and yung the word resilient, kahit anong iba to sa atin, we're there to rise up. So the failures are just our stepping stone to success, sabi nga ni John Covey.
So, yes. Thank you, Christine. Yes, I agree. Despite this pandemic challenge we have, life goes on and Virtus goes on. From Ms. Divine Resho of Hospitality News, from your experience now during this pandemic, how will Virtus 2021, next year, be organized, considering we may have up to 10 months of lockdown? Will there be different benchmarks and standards? Do you expect a reduction of entries? I'm not sure if she meant 2020 this year, but she said here 2021. The difference of how we are organizing the Virtus this year. Ms. Rose or March?
Yes, Carmela. You see, the strength of the hotel sales and marketing people, one of the strengths is flexibility. So we plan, yes, but we plan with reasonable indicators. And what has been mentioned, like a 10-month lockdown, that is not sure. That is probably, but we do not want to plan for things that are speculative. We would rather plan for what is at hand. And that is the secret to success of sales and marketing. We take a look at what is available, what is in the market, and we try to capture the bigger slice of that market or stimulate the market. But to plan for things that are too far ahead or things that are not sure is not our way. We would rather go for what is more certain to yield results.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Rose. Ms. March, do you expect a reduction of entries this year because of the pandemic?
Well, as Rose said, we do not want to speculate, but we are hopeful that the general managers or the director of sales and marketing of the properties that remained open would want to recognize their own sales and marketing people for being so dynamic, innovative during this time. And we are hopeful that we will get the same number, maybe a little less, but still with enough nominees. But I'm hopeful that we will get the same numbers that we've been getting in the past years, because all of us would really like to recognize our people, give them that recognition of their hard work.
Yes, I think so. We would like to think positively. I think now we have more time to really sit down, get those nomination forms, and fill it up. I'm sure there's a lot of things that we did. As I mentioned, I can truly relate. There's a lot more things done this year because there is a challenge that rather than the normal year when you just do the usual regular stuff in sales and marketing is more challenging this year. So there's reason to nominate the best of the best in our sales and marketing departments. When is the judging? This is a question from one of them. When is the judging of the candidates, the nominees?
Our awards night is December 7th. So it's safe to say that it will happen in November, probably mid to latter part of November.
Okay. And who are your, well, I know this is a secret, but who are your planned or judges for this year's Virtus? Maybe just a hint, not the names. I know it's a secret.
We will never give the names, for the protection of our judges. But
how do you
part of the success of the Virtus Awards is that we have a carefully chosen roster of luminaries in the academic, in the business, in the corporate, and in the social world. And we go through this list and really pick the best that we can, the best names that we can find. But for the sake of confidentiality, which we want to maintain till the awards giving night, we do not, nobody knows who they are. Sometimes we even don't know who they will be until they show up at our judging. So for everyone's peace of mind, it is better that they not be known. And we like to keep it that way so that we will continue to be the credible award-giving body that we have maintained so far. So thank you very much for understanding that.
If I may add, Ms. Carmela, I believe it's going to be November 7 would be the judging day. Yes, that is a Saturday.
Okay, so it's a one-day judging for all the categories, and we will definitely announce the venue for this, and of course the time and all the details. I have questions here, but it's not.
We will only announce it, Carmela. Yes? We will only announce it to the nominees.
The nominees, yes, yes. Okay. I have some questions here, but it's not really related to Virtus. I will ask first if you guys are okay to answer, even if it's not related to Virtus. It's related to our industry, though.
All right, we can answer.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Christine. Madam Christine, just two lang. From Stella Arnaldo. The DOT recently released its staycation guidelines. I am told this hasn't gone well with many of the HSMA members because of restrictions on hotels used as quarantine accommodations for OFWs, OFs, and LSIs. Could some of the members or officers or the president, ikaw na lang, Tin, speak on this matter? And has this concern been made known to the Department of Tourism? What is their response? Thank you very much. Stella, your best friend.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Stella, except the president not to answer. Sorry. That was a concern.
Christine, you know, this is an ongoing discussion that the HSMA has with its officers and the officers with the DOT. We do not like to preempt anything because we have been working very well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but all indications, Christine, is that the DOT has been very cooperative to HSMA requests and petitions. So while it is in law, you cannot talk unless there has already been a decision. So we do not jeopardize any of the proceedings. We would rather keep it confidential for now because it is an ongoing matter. All we can say is that the DOT has been very receptive to HSMA concerns, and we are very grateful for that. And because of that, the HSMA has been able to work on many projects. Am I correct, Christine?
Hi, that's correct, Ms. Rose, but everything has been settled between HSMA and the Department of Tourism. In fact, the secretary herself replied right away on that very time. That very day that I asked her, I sent her the message, and In the afternoon, the USECs were asked for a Zoom meeting, and they obliged with our request. I think Mike, Albania, and the rest was present during that time. So it was addressed. And Carmela, you were also there, right?
Yes, yes. I was in that meeting, and yeah, every time naman we have there's a continuous communication between the Department of Tourism and HSMA, and every time we have concerns, in fact, they consult our association before they come up. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right.
You're right.
When they come up with any memorandum or guideline, they always consult HSMA as well as the other associations like the TC, Tourism Congress, Philippine Hotel Owners. So it's a very consultative relationship, I would say, between the Department of Tourism and the HSMA, as well as other organizations. Okay, I think some of the questions are basically the same. So I'm just seeing if there's another one here. Oh, from Buddy Resho, moving forward na siya. How do you envision Virtus 2021? Wow, next year. Considering there may have, do you 2021 na, moving forward na siya. We're only doing this year, but 2021, any future plans, Ms. Rose, Margie, for 2021?
Sure, we will be there. Virtus will happen, and we will adjust according to the times.
That's right.
All right, thank you very much. So I think that's it for our media. There is one question here, whoever wants to answer from among the winners. How was Virtus change your life after winning? Anyone can answer? I'm not sure if we can get them on cam, Francis. Pwede ba?
Maybe we can ask Francis David.
Yeah, maybe somebody else, because the next one, Vanji will make her speech in a while. So anybody from our previous winners, how has Virtus changed you?
Maybe Francis.
Amy.
Francis, Kirk.
Amy.
Amy.
Mavic.
Shello.
I don't hear him.
Go ahead, turn on your mics. How has Virtus changed your life? Or has it changed your life after winning? Mas mataas ng sweldo nyo? Promote ba kayo?
Na kayo?
Pirate na nga yung iba.
Ibang hotel na. Parang walang gustong sumagot.
I'll answer.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Evangeline.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Anyway, Virtus, again, I'm deeply honored for the award, but this has really spurred in me a renewed desire to be the best that I can be. As you know, I am not blessed with children, as I had cancer a long time back, and I made a deal with God. God, don't take me yet, because I won't have little Evangelines to leave the world. What will be my legacy if God took me then? So I said, wait lang. So I decided my work will be my legacy. I will I will let God lead me through my work. So in my leadership role, I became the mom to my team. And even more so with the Virtus Award, that it is really in the leadership role that I become a mom, and it is when I find I am energized and I really want to do my best. So it is when I am teaching my people, I'm trying to be inspirational, to be also the best that they can be. And that's when I will leave my legacy. And Virtus gave that to me again, a renewed desire, a renewed spirit to serve, to give back, and to share what I have and what I know.
Thank you, Miss Evangeline. That's very, very heartfelt. And with that, I will bring it back to you to close today's program. I will call you once again the Virtus Awardee for Most Outstanding Sales and Marketing Leader, the Director of Sales and Marketing of Soler Resort and Casino, Miss Evangeline Imperial.
Hello, guys. Again, good afternoon, distinguished guests, HMA leaders, HMA members, colleagues, friends in the industry, media. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. I, again, deeply, deeply honored and very, very humbled for this award. It just gave me all the more what I want to do in my life, to be the best that I can be and to be inspirational to my team. With COVID pandemic having a more severe and sustained financial impact in all of us, our businesses, our industry, not only our hotel, our overall economy, the world as a whole. In the span of my years in hotel industry, it is more than 9/11, it is more than SARS in 2002, it is more than 2008 financial crisis in the US and in Canada combined. This really put us in our knees from the first warning signs of this unprecedented event in February, when we took a number of steps to adapt already and strengthen our businesses, until it all had to come to a full stop. March 16, I remember that very well. And today we are still here. We're still challenged. While a shift and change is at hand, we all need to implement additional measures before lodging, demand, and RevPAR levels fully recover. I am reminded by what Ram Emanuel said. Ram Emanuel, for those who do not know, is the first White House Chief of Staff for Barack Obama. And he went on to become the mayor of Chicago. And maybe he will go on for Senate or to be a congressman. Anyway, he said, you never want to waste a serious crisis. Never, ever. It's in these times, it is in these moments when what he meant to say is that it is an opportunity to do things what you think we couldn't do. Now is the time to do it during crisis. And we are faced with this crisis. Again, as HSMA associates, it is in the guiding principles of our organization. This is the time for us to shine. So as we continue to face the challenges of COVID, let us keep to mind what he said and fully engage our teams to be productive while working remotely. Let us use, and hopefully this still temporary situation, to be an opportunity. It can benefit all of us from thinking and shifting from challenge mode to opportunity mode. Use again the principles of HSMA. We know it at heart. We're sellers. We will overcome. We've dreamed of this time that we can shift from daily tasks of always typical work, our typical work days, always urgent, always necessary, last minute, rush. Now, a little bit of calm. But this calm we should use to focus our teams for the long term, bigger picture projects. This is the time to think big, time to think creatively, time to think in all directions. Let me share my tips in accomplishing this. Number one, think ahead. This can be the moment for strategic and long-term planning. Number two, think back. Quiet times can be used to gather and examine data and previous initiatives. What went wrong? What is good? What is bad? What can be better? Number three, think deep. Make a plan to do deep dive into systems you currently have in place. In hotel, we have a lot of systems and procedures, lots of do's and don'ts. Now is the time to examine those. Number four, think across. Now is the time to look at other departments, how we can help them. Five, think growth. Downtimes are ideal for developing ourselves and our teams. Six, think well-being. It is crucial that we sustain our physical and mental health. Prioritize. Lastly, think now. Importantly, there are some tasks that are critical or perfectly situated for this situation now. So let's do it now. With that, I end with the renewed spirit again to be positive, high energy, totally everything that HSMA encapsulates. Let us set ourselves and HSMA apart to lead, to get better, to transform. Thank you very much and have a good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Evangeline. There's a lot of information and a lot of tips there from you, from our winner last year of the most outstanding sales and marketing leader. I have a Viber message here that from the questions I asked the winner earlier, somebody wants to answer. Shelo Reboredo, what has changed you after Virtus?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to HSMA board. You know, being in the hospitality industry has always been challenging, but yet fun and fulfilling. And for the past 2 decades that I've been in this industry, I actually feel blessed and grateful that after more than 2 decades, I have finally have the fruits of my labor. I reaped it already. And I'm so thankful to HSMA and to the Virtus for this award. Again, this is not just a feather in my cap, but I consider this as a special gift, which I will cherish forever. And that's from the heart. Thank you very much to HSMA and Virtus. And now that the Virtus is already on its 6th year, I'm sure a lot of hotel sales and marketing professionals are looking forward to join this award. So I encourage you all to join, and let's all be beacons of hope during these challenging times. I always believe that after every storm, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So for the tourism industry, go Philippines, soar high, mabuhay pa ang HSMA, mabuhay ang turismo ng Pilipinas.
Wow, soar high. Thank you so much. Laban, laban. Thank you, Shelo, for that. Really a avid supporter of HSMA. So as we draw closer to our program, allow me to once again thank our media friends and partners for your unwavering support to HSMA. If I would just like to mention some of the names and to correct earlier, that was Carla Mortel is with Business Mirror. And from our media friends, I have a Viber here from Mark and Gemma. I just want to acknowledge their presence. Arian Guevara of Asian Dragon, Joyce Ann Rocamora of Philippine News Agency, Irma Isip of Malaya Business Insight, Joser Ferreras of Tripzilla, PH.PH, Raquel Quieta of GMAnetwork.com, Jenny Cheng of United Daily News, Stella Arnaldo, of course, of Business Mirror, Isa Iglesias of Manila Standard, Marvin Estigay of Moment TM Asia, Kathy Talavera of Philippine Star, Hannah Tabios of Manila Bulletin, Carla Mortel, Business Mirror, Rosette Adele of Philstar Online and Interaction, Tina Dumlao of Philippine Daily Inquirer, Karen O. Young of DZRH, Jenny Arado of Sunstar Davao, Divine Resho of Hospitality Philippines. Maraming salamat to our media who's always been supportive of HSMA. And for your other questions, you can get in touch with us anytime. To Mr. Bill Luz for being so generous of your time. No doubt we have taken some of your key points on how we can reset the growth of our respective properties and organizations beyond this pandemic. To the Department of Tourism, the Tourism Promotions Board Philippines, for your unwavering and continued trust and invaluable support. To Atlantis Asia for powering HSMA's website and our recently concluded highly successful 15 million September online sale. Emphasis on the 15 million in 2 weeks' time. That's really a huge success. And HSMA GPS TV for streaming today's launch on Facebook and via YouTube. And to all our members and the HSMA community of change makers, please start sending your nomination entries. Get those forms. They have all been sent to you. Talk to your GMs, DOSMs, you have a big role here. Get those forms filled up and send it to us, to HSMA. The deadline is on October 30. Thank you once again. This concludes our official launch of the 6th Virtus Awards. This is Carmela Bocanegra again. Thank you and have a great afternoon. Bye.